Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? On today's video, we're making this beautiful dress and I used 3 yards of Ankara fabric for it. I used the net fabric for the yoke and I used velvet bias for the design. Please guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come along, let's make this beautiful dress together. We'll be using 3 yards of Ankara fabric and we'll be using this lace for the yoke of the dress. Okay, so we're going to keep this aside and we're going to work on our pattern. So I have drafted the basic bodice pattern without inserting our measurement or anything. Of course, we are using presets that for this, and we are going to use our nipple to nipple measurement for it. So you are going to divide your nipple to nipple, divide by 2, and what I have is 4 inches. You insert that 4 inches from your chest line down to your waistline or where you want your top to stop. After marking that line, you are going to draw a straight line to connect it down to your shoulder line. On your under bust, you are going to mark 2 inch. Okay, so that 2 inch will be marking half an inch on the side that is our neckline side and 1.5 inch on the side. Okay, so half inch on the cut on fold side, then 1.5 inch on the side. That's what you are going to mark. Then when you are done, connect it from your waist. You connect it down to your under bust and do the same thing for the half an inch. Take your curve ruler and connect it to your bust point. You just connect it with the curve ruler down to your bust point. To get the upper dart, you can use 6.5 inches. Depends on your measurement from your chest to where you want it to stop. So I'm using 6.5 inches, or you can come up with 1.5 inches for yours, or 1 inch. It depends on how deep you want it to be. So just mark it. When you are done marking it, connect it with a straight line. After drawing the line, on the midpoint, you mark 0.75 on both sides. That is 3/4 of an inch. Mark it on both sides, then connect it down to your bust point. For the neckline, I use 2 inches and I'm going to use 2 inches for the back. I use 2 inches for the depth, then 3.5 inches for the wideness, or 3 inches, depends on you. So the upper part now is going to be our yoke. We're going to add our measurement. You take your tape and place it on your bust line. So that chest line is our bust line. You add the dart that we have. Now you are going to take your tape and measure it out, then add it to your measurement. So my bust is 34.5 divided by 4, which is 8.6. Then I'll add that 1 inch and it's going to give me 9.6, and I'll add 1.5 inch. It's going to give me 11.25 or 11.1. So I'll just approximate it to 11.5, then I'll just mark it. Okay, but we've gotten our armhole, so we'll just add the extra 2.5 inch to it. So you do the same thing for your waist. You divide your waist by 4. After dividing it by 4, you add your 1.5 inch sewing allowance. You add the 2 inch that we took for that waist dart. Then you've gotten your waist. Then connect the lines, and you are done with the front part. You are just going to cut it out and you are done with the front part of our dress. When you are done cutting it out, you are going to just indicate it. So that's our yoke, and we are going to, the front part is cut on fold, so you are cutting on the yoke too is cut on fold. Then add half an inch sewing allowance. Okay, round it, half an inch sewing allowance. Don't forget to label it central front and side front. Back, I just got my dart. That was the only thing I needed. So add your zipper allowance and add your 4 inch. Then when you are done adding the 4 inch, draw a straight line down to the shoulder line, and on the waistline you use half an inch on both sides, and that is going to be for our dart. Then you add your measurement. When you are done adding your measurement, you cut it out. So for the back, we don't necessarily need any details. It's just simple back for it. Just add your sewing allowance and you are done with the back. Then on the zipper allowance side, you are going to come up by half an inch and you are going to slant it to the side. Then you are done. That is for the waist line, okay, just for our waist at the back so that it will be straight. Take your pattern and use it to cut out your fabric. I finished cutting it and I cut out the lining piece and the main fabric, and the front is cut or fold. The side front is 2 pieces. Then we cut the yoke, cut on fold, and the back is also 2 piece. So we are going to join the dart for the back and we are going to add the padding for the front. For the down part, we are going to fold it into a triangle, okay? So you fold it into 2. When you are done folding it into 2, you are going to take one end of it and slant it to the other side. So it's going to give us a triangle. That is how we are going to use to cut out the down part of our dress. I'm going to do a proper video on how to make that, guys. So please bear with me on this. In order for you to get the waist measurement that you needed, what I did is I divided my waist by 6.25 and what I had was 4.8. So from that upper part that won't be needed, I mark 4.8 down. So I just mark it round. So that is what is going to be for the base of my measurement. So that is my waist measurement. Just mark it round and connect it. Remember, the fabric is folded into 4, okay? So when you are done with that part, you are going to take your tape and you are going to mark the length of your skirt or the dress. So you mark it, and my waist, shoulder to waist, is 17 inches. So I'm going to minus that part and I'm going to mark 25 inches. So total of everything is 42 inches. That was what I used. So I marked 25 inches round, then I connect it and cut it out. This is it. The next thing you are going to do is to cut out your lining piece. You are going to place this now on your lining and cut it out. So I've gotten my down part of my dress. I'm done with this down part and I'm going to cut the sleeve. So take your sleeve pattern paper and place it on your fabric and just cut it out. This is the front piece and I've ironed the wording on it. I'm going to join it together. So you join the both sides, pin it and join it with half an inch. When you are done joining it, you are going to notch it and iron it. I've done that in my previous video, so you'll be able to see everything. So I'm just going to do it so that it will be very fast. After pinning it, iron it, and we are going to go over to the next side. So do the same thing for both the lining. For the back, you join the fabric to the lining. When you are done, you take a tiny pinch of it on the shoulder and join it to the dart that you have, that 1 inch. You're going to join it together. I've joined the front piece, so the down part of the front piece, and I've ironed it, and I'm going to use my bias to use as embellishment for the design. So you are going to place it on that boss point, that boss line that you join, that line that you join. So you place it and you gum it down. We are still going to stitch it. You do the same thing on both sides, and for the underboss you put on the underboss and you put for the waist. But for the waist, you are going to add that when you are done stitching the entire dress. You are also going to put one in the middle, okay? So it's going to be in between the two sides, the two nipple to nipple. You are just going to put one in the middle. So I'm going to do that now. What I did, I took the net, that's the yoke, and I placed it on the fabric and I went ahead and stitched it together. So I stitched it after I finished stitching it. Before I added the lining piece to it. So I'll stitch it and show you how it looks. I've gone ahead and stitched it up, and I joined the shoulder to shoulder together. Then what you are going to do is you are going to place the lining piece front side facing front side. So front side of your main fabric and front side of your lining piece. You are going to put it and the yoke will be inside. Can you see what I did? And you are going to stitch it. When you are done, you join the lining piece and the fabric together, just the way we did the back piece. I'm done with it, and we are going to take the measurement of our neckline. So you measure it from your one side of your back down to the other side of your back. Whatever you have, that is what you are going to use for your collar. When I was done measuring it, what I had was 18.5, and that's what I will use. So I'm going to keep the top aside and we are going to cut out the collar. I divided my 18.5 by 2, but I approximate it to 19 inches and I got 9.5, and I mark it on my pattern paper. After marking it, you are going to come up on that point that you marked, that 9.5, come up by half an inch. After marking the half an inch, you are dividing your 9.5 now. That is the next thing we are doing now. Divide it by 2, and whatever you have, you mark it. So when you are done marking it, you take your curve ruler and you give it a slant. So you are going to connect the half an inch to the midpoint of your 9.5. When you are done, that side that is cut on fold, that does not have any marking on it, you are going to come up by 1 inch. So you'll be coming up by 1 inch down to that half an inch that we have. So you just mark 1 inch, 1 inch, use your tape to connect it. When you are done, you are going to take your curve ruler and you are going to connect it. Then after connecting it, cut it out, and we are done with our collar pattern. Don't forget to indicate the cut on fold. When you are done, you are going to take your collar gum, and I'm using a very light collar gum. It's like a paper gum. Place your collar on it, and on that part that you have cut on fold, so that is going to be our midpoint. So you fold the collar gum into 2 and cut on fold. Don't forget, you are not adding sewing allowance when you are cutting it with your collar gum. It's when you are cutting it on your fabric that you'll be adding sewing allowance. So when you are done, place it on your fabric, iron it, then you add half an inch sewing allowance. I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is it. I'm done with it. So we are going to notch it. We're going to notch the center front. So fold it into 2 and give it a notch. After notching it, place the lining piece in the main piece and we are going to stitch it. Okay, so you are going to stitch it this way by half an inch. So you just follow the half an inch that we gave around it. So you are going to stitch it. Don't stitch the part you are inserting to your dress. Stitch it half an inch and give a bit space so that you'll be able to fold that edge. When you are done, notch it round and turn it, then iron it. I'm going to show you how it looks when I'm done ironing it. I finished stitching it, so I'm going to notch it. When I'm done notching it, the part that we did not stitch, on the lining piece, you are going to fold it half an inch, or on the main piece. It depends on how you want to do yours. Okay, so I'm going to fold in half an inch. That is what I'm going to use to turn it. So do the same thing for yours. Iron in half an inch. That half an inch is what you are going to iron and fold it together to an iron. After ironing it, you are going to pin it to your neckline. Okay, so you can pin. What I did is I pinned the lining piece first. After pinning the lining piece, I stitch it round, then I use the half an inch to the half an inch to sew it. Then I folded it inside and stitched it as a casing, just the way you do your band for your skirt. So it's like sewing your band. So that was what I did. So I'm done attaching a collar to the upper part of the dress. I've stitched it, and what you are going to do next is you are going to attach your sleeve and join the sides. So attach your sleeve and join the sides together. So this is the first part, and I'm done attaching the collar, attaching the sleeve and joining the side. What you do next is you take your waist measurement. When you are done taking your waist measurement, then you pin the down part, that is the bottom part of the dress, pin it to the upper part of the dress. So after pinning it, you are going to stitch it. So what I had was 33 inches and my skirt was 34 inches or 35 inches. So I pinned it and I stitched them together. So you pin it with the lining, and you are going to stitch the lining of the skirt, the main fabric, and the upper part together. I'm done with the dress, and I use my interlocking machine to hem the hem line. Then I added the bias to the waist, and I've added the zip. So this is the end of today's tutorial. Please guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. God bless you. Bye guys.